Good afternoon, everyone.
Ma'am, good evening.
Good afternoon. So, how was your exam? It's same. Good or very good or average?
Ma'am, very good.
Very good. Okay. Very good. So, we will start our new
Ma'am,
chapter. Yeah.
ma'am, in elasticity, which formula is better, midpoint or standard?
Always midpoint method you have to follow. Standard method, if it is asked only, then you can use. Otherwise, method you have to use.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. So we will start our class, but seventh chapter I will like to discuss some more about the seventh chapter. That is about our consumer surplus and producer surplus and total surplus. Have we discussed that before the exam? So you must have forgotten. Let us revise that chapter. Just I will give you some summarize it. Then we will start with our eighth chapter. Okay. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow also we are having classes. So we will discuss eighth chapter in that. Today we will discuss about the. Let me. Yeah. So we will discuss about the chapter 7 again. If we have discussed to some extent and left some part of it, so I'll revise it. That is chapter 7 is about your producer surplus, consumer surplus, and total surplus. How to calculate basic concepts and how we calculate consumer surplus, producer surplus, and total surplus. So consumer surplus it means when we are discussing about consumer surplus is uh, what the consumers gain, how much they are willing to pay for a good, and how much they actually pay for a good. That is that difference is known as consumer surplus. And suppose when we buy some product, that means we value it, and when we think what we sacrifice, that is the money. When you buy a product, you have to sacrifice some money. That is the cost of it. That is the sacrifice that a buyer is making while purchasing a good. Because to get something, we have to sacrifice something. So, in order to get a particular product, the people, the buyer has to sacrifice. And what is the sacrifice? The money. Okay, so that is the marginal cost of buying a product. Marginal benefit is the utility he is getting from the good. So when we are talking about the consumer surplus is nothing but the difference between how much one is willing to pay for a good minus the price, market price. Okay, price means market price of the product which is charged for the good. So, willingness to pay means how much a person is ready to pay. Suppose a person is ready to pay after looking at a product, always in our mind we think that this looks like 100 rupees. And if we will see the value or the price of it, suppose it is 80 rupees, then you will be happy to purchase it. If it is 120 rupees, you may not buy it because you are thinking that it is worth 100 rupees. That means you value it at 100 rupees. Sometimes what happens, suppose a person, that is when you value it at 100 rupees, if the market price is more, means suppose 120, that means he will not buy the product. But if then he will not purchase the good. But if market price is suppose 80 rupees, that means he is getting a consumer surplus which is equal to 100 minus 80, that is equal to 20 rupees. So 20 rupees is worth. If it is more, always you will buy the product. If the value or willingness to pay for the commodity is higher than the price, the person will buy the good. Otherwise, he will not buy the good. When there is one customer, we calculate like this, the consumer surplus. But when there are many consumers, we will add all of their consumer surplus, then find out what is the total consumer surplus when there are number of buyers. Similarly, the demand curve, what the demand curve shows? The demand curve shows, what do you mean by the demand curve? Tell me, what does the demand curve shows? What type of relationship between which product, which thing? Demand curve, demand curve.
Price and quantity demanded.
Very good. So any point on the demand curve, any point on the demand curve shows a particular price and particular quantity demanded. So any point, if this point or this point, whether it is A, whether it is B, whether it is C, any point is showing a particular price quantity combination. That means at each price, when price is P1, quantity is Q1. When price is P2, quantity is Q2, like so on and so forth. So when we are talking about demand curve, so any point on it is showing a particular price and its corresponding quantity. So we can find out. Now let us discuss that how we calculate the consumer surplus and producer surplus. So consumer surplus is basically we are calculating if it is the number of buyers are there or large number of buyers are there, then it is the area between the price line and the demand curve area. Consumer surplus is related to consumers. Demand curve is related to consumers. And when we are talking about producer surplus, it is related to producer or seller. Supply curve is related to representing the interest that or how much quantity that the sellers will supply at each price. So when we are talking about supply curve, it is related to seller. It is showing the interest of the sellers, how much they are ready to sell at each price. So with the help of these two, supply curve and demand curve, we can calculate the consumer surplus as well as producer surplus. So before that, let us discuss what is producer surplus, how we calculate for each person, each individual seller. So producer surplus is nothing but price of the commodity, market price, minus cost of production, cost of producing that good. Suppose a producer can produce market price. Suppose your market price is equal to 25 rupees ice cream. Ice cream one cup is 25 rupees price, market price, MRP. Now, there may be some customer, sorry, some producer who can produce this one cup vanilla ice cream, let's say, at 20 rupees. Some may be there who can produce it at 18 rupees. Some may be there who can produce it at 15 rupees also. So what? Because market price is decided by aggregate demand and aggregate supply. They cannot change it, but they can reduce their cost of production by reducing their wastage or reducing their quality. They cannot change much, because if different qualities are there, people will buy from different customers, different sellers. So the person who is having cost of production at 20, so these are all cost. So if cost of production is 20, he is getting a producer surplus of 5 rupees. If number one producer, number two producer who is able to produce at 18 rupees cost per unit, then he is getting 7 rupees. 25 minus 18, that is 7 rupees called producer surplus per unit. Third person who can produce at 15 rupees, that means he is getting 10 rupees producer surplus on each unit. So total producer surplus we get also. So total producer surplus also we can get like this: 15 plus 10, 5 plus 10, 15 plus 7, 22 total. Each individual's producer surplus we can calculate like this. If there are large number of buyers, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So if there are very large number of buyers and sellers in the market, then we can calculate as the price line, area between the price line and the supply cost. And how we calculate area? What is the formula for area? Yes, tell me. Formula for area calculation normally.
Ma'am, for which diagram or
Triangle, for triangle.
half into base into height?
And rectangle?
Length into breadth.
Okay, so we will be using these two in our subsequent analysis to find out the consumer surplus, producer surplus, and change in consumer surplus and producer surplus. Okay, so let us discuss how we calculate that. Suppose this is a diagram that let me first explain it with the help of the diagram, then we will have the calculation part. Suppose this is the demand curve for ice cream. Okay, so this is price line, 0 quantity, this is the demand curve. And let's say this is the supply curve. Supply starts from here. And at equilibrium, this is your equilibrium price, and this is the equilibrium quantity. At equilibrium, we know QS equal to QD. Quantity demand is equal to quantity supply. Now, what will happen? What is the consumer surplus area? When we are talking about consumers, that means a person whose willingness to pay is here. He is also paying this equilibrium price. Equilibrium price is that price which buyers pay, which sellers receive. Okay, that is at equilibrium. The buyers is paying this EP 0. Yes, yes. Any problem? Any doubt? Okay, so and when the buyers are ready to, there will be some buyers whose willingness to pay is here. At let's say.
Madam,
Yes,
good afternoon.
good
Badri sir here.
afternoon. Yes,
Badri sir
sir.
here. Today
Yes,
also I
sir.
am disturbing you. So can I take 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes?
Yeah, yeah, sir. Okay, no
So,
problem.
dear students, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, just now, listen, just now we had sent you a form, student information form. In your mail ID also it is there in your chat box. You can check it. Okay. So what you have to do, you please open that form and fill it. That form is required for student login ID purpose, so that afterwards, once your student ID is created, you will check your examination related information in through that ID. Okay. So please, all of you, open the link and fill the form now. If you have any doubt, we are there to help you now.
Sir, there
Madam,
is a query.
yeah, tell me, Shivam Srivastava.
Sir, the aggregate marks mentioned, sir, it is the total or average marks?
Total mark, total how much you have secured.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Madam, it will
The
take 10 minutes
correspondence
time. So after
address.
10 minutes, you will resume. You please be there,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, I will be there. I am just stopping the sharing. Then after all, I will start. Okay.
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 Yes.
So correspondence address means,
Corresponding where you are staying
but
means
I am
if we will
in now in
communicate
Delhi,
you,
sir.
if we'll communicate you, if we'll communicate you, you will be there. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
So I will only give the permanent address only.
Yeah, better.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, yes.
Yes, sir. So that one, the 10th board name in full. So I will write the name of the board exam or name of mine.
It is mentioned in your certificate over your
My name that is mentioned in the certificate.
plus. And 10th board name, that is the board name, the conduction authority, that is your exam conduction authority.
Sir,
Okay,
10th
10th
board
board,
name in
like your this CBSE, okay, CHSE, like that, yeah. In full.
and so the institution name I will write my college name.
Bas.
Okay. So we'll write all in capital letters or normal.
It is better if you write it capital. If you have filled up your form, then mention in the chat box that I have filled it.
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Okay, mention it in your chat box.
Sir,
Yes.
in the place of board name, I have written my name. Yeah, you said before. So
No,
what?
the board name means that is the exam board name.
I think that there is written a 10th board name in full. So
10th board name. 10th board name, not your name. It's the 10th board name. This is board name.
so can I correct it or let it be there?
Okay, so I'll confirm it. Okay, just a minute.
Okay, sir.
So listen. So you cannot
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, there's a box to fill 12th aggregate marks and another to fill 12th percentage of marks. Sir, what to do there?
Percentage, it is aggregate out of total. Okay.
Okay, sir. At marks, I will fill my marks and percentage. Okay,
That's,
sir.
that's
Okay, sir.
Okay, listen, if there is any error in your form, you mail it to the section, okay, and write it, this is my wrong information and what is the right information. Mention perfectly, okay. So it will be rectified later. Understand?
Okay, sir.
So what to done?
In your form, if I mention any wrong information, you mail it to the section that this is my wrong information I have filled up. Please rectify with the right information. Mention the right information clearly. Okay.
Sir, there is one 10th institute name. There we have to give the school name.
Yes, the 10th school name.
Yes.
Sir, we have to write the mail to the section authority, na?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
In 10th board name, we will write our name.
No, no. Board name means the board which gives you the certificate for your pass year. Like your CBSC, CHSC, or anything.
Hello, sir. Sir, here it is asking for 10th percentage of marks in percentage, but I have got in CGPA.
Make it convert to percentage. That is what the CGPA, that much of the percentage.
Sir, but how can I convert it? It has some range. 90 to 100 is 10 CGPA or something similar. So, what should I write there?
So CGPA multiply with 9.5. Okay. Sudhanshu.
Okay, sir.
Got it?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have 6 subjects in my 12th, so I'll fill the total mark of 6 subjects. 6 subjects.
What is it is mentioned in your board certificate or in your total in your pass mark sheet? What is the full mark and what is the aggregate mark you achieved?
Okay, sir.
As per that one, you fill it.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, we have to write the school code like the 08391 or only the school name.
What I am not getting you.
Sir, in my board certificate there is a code. I will write the only school name or the code too.
No, it is asking you the 10th board name. There you have to write down the board name of your 10th. Okay. Then in your institute name you have to write down the school name.
Okay, sir.
Sir, our house doesn't have any number, and that block is to be filled mandatory. Hello.
Wait. In
Sir, I might
permanent
be
or
asking
your corresponding?
What, sir?
It is in your permanent address,
Yes, sir.
native and home city.
Yes, sir.
For Miss apartment, short name, house number. So you mention your calling number on anything or any address, anything you just mention there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. If there is no number, just write a name.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have 6 subjects in 12th. I have to write aggregate marks of all the subjects or 5. Hello. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Ashutosh.
Sir, I have six subjects in 12th, sir. I have to write sum of 5 or 6 marks.
So all the 6 marks, all the 6 subject marks.
Okay,
Sir, we will include the additional subject also.
That is the 4 mark, no? It is coming under the 4 mark.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Sir,
Yes, Megha.
sir, in our 12th, the total mark is 500, and if we have an additional subject, that is subject we can't add it. Right? We have to take the
Yes.
best of 5.
Yes, sir.
That
We
is
have
how
to take
it
the
is.
best of 5.
Listen. Okay. So what you are thinking about the perfect things you just mentioned there. Okay. That means there is some confusion about the 6 and 5. Okay. If you fill it in your form, according that one you just fill it.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I didn't get that. Can you repeat?
Look here. If you're considering out of 6 any base 5, okay, by neglecting anyone, and if you think that according that you fill up, okay. If you fill up full mark out of 600, just fill up 600 or 500 by neglecting any one. Just as per that one you mentioned it.
Hello, sir. So actually, I have only one number, and it is asking for two numbers, an alternate number for student, but I don't have that. So what should I fill here?
Mention same number
Okay, sir.
twice.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, whatever it is given to fill for PG students only, we will leave that, right, sir?
No. Don't do that. Only PG students.
Yes, sir. That means we will leave
It's
that
not.
blank.
That's leave that. You leave it. It's not mandatory.
Okay,
The mandatory part you have to fill up. If you left the on start things, then there is no problem.
sir. For students additional, sorry, alternate number, I have given my mother's number. Is that right?
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Okay, sir.
Please all of you do it quickly.
The, sir, the aggregate of marks we have to write in decimal.
Yes, it is not audible to me.
Sir, the aggregate of marks we have to write in decimal, right?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir. Sir, I have filled my email address in place of my parents' email address. So is that okay?
No, you have to replace that one.
Okay. Sir, I have actually submitted that.
You mail it to the section.
but my parents' phone number are actually there
No, no,
only.
no. What the mistake you have made, you just mail it to that. Further it will be sent.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, Pranam.
Sir, I have written my 12th percentage in the place of board name. Sir,
So
I need
whatever
to.
the problems you just mentioned in your, uh, just write to the mail ID of your section. Okay.
So to the section or to the SAT 2020.
No, no, to the section. It is mentioned in your chat box. You read it carefully.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, I already sent the mail.
Okay, then no problem. You just wait for class.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Ma'am, you can continue your class, ma'am.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello, yes.
Sir, I have CGPA system of marking in my class 10th. So what should I write in 10th percentage column?
What I am not getting you.
Sir, I have CGPA system of marking in my class 10th.
Hmm.
So what should I write in the percentage column of class 10th
Percentage of
marks?
CGPA multiplied with 9.5.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Ma'am, you can continue the
Yes.
class, ma'am.
I'll continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. So we will continue our class. So, okay. So we were discussing about. Let me share the screen, and last 10 minutes is left. So let me just show you. Let me share the screen. Yes. So we are discussing about what is the producer surplus and what is the consumer surplus. Let me at least discuss this with the help of the diagram, so that next class we can continue with it with numerical problems and all. So when we are talking about consumer surplus, consumer surplus is the difference between the market price or the price of the product and how much the people are willing to pay. Suppose your equilibrium price is 10 rupees, let's say. And if your price is, some people must be there who are ready to pay 15 rupees, who are willing to pay 15 rupees, but actually they are paying 10 rupees. So the person whose willingness to pay is 15 rupees, or he value the commodity as 15 rupees, so that means he is ready to buy the product even if it is 10 rupees. Okay, now there must be, so consumer surplus is getting is 5 rupees. Similarly, suppose a person is there who is ready to pay 20 rupees, but he is actually paying 10 rupees, which is the market price or equilibrium price. Okay, so he is getting a surplus of 10 rupees. 20 minus 2, that is willingness to pay minus the price of the good. Willingness to pay minus price of the good. Similarly, a person, suppose this is your 30 rupees. So a person who is ready to pay 30 rupees or willing to pay 30 rupees but actually paying 10 rupees, he is getting a consumer surplus of 20 rupees. Similarly, when there are large number of people and we want to add all their consumer surplus, then instead of going on adding them, we can calculate the consumer surplus as the area between the price line. This is the price line here now, consumer surplus, the equilibrium price is here, and the demand curve area. So demand curve represents the buyer's willingness to pay. So this area will be your consumer surplus. So if this is this area, the whole area will be consumer surplus. So consumers are getting, those people who are getting more price, who are willing to pay more price, but actually paying the less price, they are having more consumer surplus. The person who is willing to pay 15 rupees and paying 10 rupees, he is getting less consumer surplus than the person who is ready to pay or willing to pay 20 rupees but actually paying 10 rupees. So this area is known as your consumer surplus area. Okay, so area above the price line and below the demand curve is area is known as your consumer surplus area. When there are large number of people, we can, and it is their interest or their willingness to pay is shown by the demand curve. Demand curve otherwise known as willingness to pay curve. So demand curve is otherwise known as, it is related to buyer's curve, buyers, and it is otherwise known as willingness to pay curve. Similarly, when we are talking about producer surplus, the producer surplus area, we can say that this is the area which is the producer surplus area. Here it is starting from 0, means those person, this supply curve represent the cost curve. cost to the production curve. How much is the minimum cost of production, above which whatever price they get is a definitely a surplus to them. Okay, surplus means additional benefit, we can say. So when it is the price is zero, it is starting from zero, means production cost is zero here for some people. But those people whose production cost is more higher, and when the production cost is more than it, but they are getting a price of 10 rupees each of them. If price line is 10 rupees, means each is receiving 10 rupees by selling the product in one unit. So if the production cost somebody is having, let's say this is one, other say let's say this is 2 rupees production cost, so definitely 10 minus 1, 9 rupees is his surplus. If a person whose cost of production is 2 rupees, that means he will like to sell the product and get an per unit producer surplus at 10 minus 2, that is 8 rupees. Similarly, when we calculate all of the people's production, the producer surplus, then we can get the area under this. So you are getting again another triangle, that is your producer surplus area. So producer surplus, basically we know that this is price or market price minus here market price and equilibrium price. If differently it is not given, that means the equilibrium price is automatically the market price. Market is decided, market is decided by the buyers and the sellers, and price is being allotted or price is being decided by them. So price minus cost of production, cost of producing one unit, if we are talking about single producer, single seller. When there are large number of seller, we can calculate this consumer surplus as your half into base into height. So for this we need, this is the half into base into height, we can say. So we need to have this value as well as this value. This value is nothing but your quantity. What is the quantity? So you need to know what is the quantity and how you calculate the price. Okay, and based on this price, what is the price? If it is, if the market price is 10 rupees and now it increases to 15 rupees, then what happens? I want to tell you that in this situation, if this is the consumer surplus area, and let me discuss, let me show you, if the market price increases, then what happens? Suppose this is your demand curve and this is the supply curve area. Supply curve, this is the demand curve, this is your equilibrium price, this is your equilibrium quantity. So this area is your now the price is equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity. Okay, in the market, this is zero, this is price line, this is quantity line. Okay, now if the above part is known as your consumer surplus, this area is your consumer surplus area, so this area is your producer surplus area. Now, if market price increases from EP to, let's say, P1, what happened then? If it is increases from EP to P1. So, remember one thing, at equilibrium, consumer surplus is maximum and producer surplus is maximum. That is the most efficient situation, and equilibrium quantity is maximum quantity that can be produced. Resources are fully utilized and properly allocated. Okay, and if market price is more than the equilibrium price, means market price is higher than the equilibrium price, or increases from this 10 rupees to, let's say, 15 rupees, then what happens? So those people, now what will happen when it is, we are finding that new price line is this one, new price line is OP1. OP1 is the new price. P1 is your new price. At this new price, how much will be quantity? Quantity will be reduced to OQ1 instead of OEQ or OQ. So quantity is being reducing instead of increasing. Quantity will reduce because at higher price, some of the buyer will leave the market, will not purchase the good at higher price. So those basically those surplus are falling between those willingness to pay fall between this area. They will not now buy this area, means between this EP and P1 whose willingness to pay is here. Now when price has increased, they will not buy because now willingness to pay is less than the price. So willingness to pay will be less than the price, so they will not buy now. So this area will be lost to the consumers now due to higher price, because neither initially they were getting this. Suppose let me write A, this is B, and this is C, this is D, and let's say this is E and this is F. How you get this E from this line? Let us say we are putting a line, straight line to y-axis in order to calculate the area. Actually we need that, because then we will get a rectangle and we will get two triangles, three triangles together. So if it is so, initially consumer surplus was A plus B plus C. Now consumer surplus is only A. New consumer surplus is only A area. Now the new consumer surplus is remaining only this one. This one is your or A only. This is your new consumer surplus. Okay. So this area is lost to the consumer, but quantity has reduced. New quantity is OQ1. So what happened? But consumers are losing. But who is gaining? The producers will gain, because this is the price that consumers are paying. This is the price that the producers are gaining. Producers are gaining for per unit, and when the producers are gaining, what will happen? They will gain this area, and this area. So producers are gaining. Let me see, this area, and this area. These three area, this area will the producers will gain, because this is the supply line, and when it is touching this price line is this one. So price line, the below the price line and the supply curve area is known as your producer surplus. But because quantity has reduced, they cannot touch here. It is representing a new quantity, old quantity. This is your new quantity, because quantity has reduced due to higher price. So we are saying that these three are the producers surplus area. This one plus this one plus this one. We say this is producer surplus area. But what about these two small triangles that we are getting here? Nobody is gaining these two, this one and this one. This whole area is not going to anybody, neither to the buyer nor to the seller. So this is known as your dead weight loss. This is known as your dead weight loss to the society, because less quantity is being used, less quantity is being sold in the market. This dead weight loss is happening because there is a loss in total surplus. Because when we are talking about total surplus is nothing but consumer surplus plus producer surplus. Initially consumer surplus was this much, this yellow one, this dotted ones, as well as half part of this triangle. So now what happened, when consumers are losing, somebody is gaining, no problem. Buyers are gaining, losing, but consumers are, the sellers are gaining. But this is the area which nobody is gaining. So this is a total loss to the society, which is known as your dead weight loss. Why it's naming like that? Because you see, as a dead person will have more weight. So similarly, and that is also this is a dead weight loss to the society. Means this loss is totally a loss to the society. Nobody is gaining. Neither this area is gained by the buyers, nor the sellers, nor the society. Society is also getting some loss. So total surplus, new total surplus is less than new total surplus now, which is the consumer surplus and producer surplus. That is nothing but new consumer surplus plus new producer surplus. So what will happen when there the price increases? New consumer, new total surplus is less than actual total surplus or original total surplus, and there is a loss in total surplus, which is called a deadweight loss. So what we find that whenever the price increases, whenever the price of the good increases, there will be a loss to the society, which is known as dead weight loss. Because at equilibrium, it is the most efficient position, most optimum position. Is consumer surplus is maximum, producer surplus is maximum, so total surplus will also be maximum and best, and that quantity is always a optimum quantity, and at equilibrium price is the most efficient price. And when it is not, but there cannot be, you cannot be always seated at the equilibrium, because there will be deviation in the market. But when there is deviation, either price can be increased or decreased due to other situations, due to change in demand, due to change in weather, due to change in many things, there will be fluctuation in the market. So what will happen when price increase? Consumers are losing, producers are gaining, but there will be a deadweight loss to the society. So we can show this producer surplus. We can show this area, and this area is the producer surplus. Then how you calculate? This is your consumer surplus. This is a triangle, half base into height you can calculate. This is a, you are getting for producer surplus. This area you have to calculate as a rectangle, the area of the rectangle, then you can calculate plus the area of the triangle. Then you can get the producer surplus. And deadweight loss, either you calculate the total consumer surplus, total surplus before, and the total surplus after, and the difference will be your deadweight loss. Or directly you can calculate the deadweight loss as this area. This is also a triangle. So you need to find this value, and this height. Half base into height, or again you can find here, which is the change in quantity, which is the loss in quantity. So we can calculate this as deadweight loss. So thank you very much. Next class I will give you one example and a numerical problem to calculate this consumer surplus, producer surplus, and total surplus. Okay? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much.